Hey everybody, how's it going? This is a little video for the Angels of Fury. I haven't tried highlighting the Melkite Red with Blood Red yet. If I remember to do so once I start making the army, I'll do that. But what I did do is got the decal sheet for the Angels of Fury. You can see the decal on him is a winged skull. I still have to do a matte varnish over it to seal it, but it's on there nice, so it won't come off. But the sealer will help protect from it coming off and make it a little bit more matte instead of being that glossy. But it's a winged skull, and if you have the Space Marine Codex and you look to that star map section, you'll see the homeworld in Gaiga, and it'll say Angels of Fury with a skull on a profile, much like you see here, with a wing behind it. This is just a more stylized wing than what you see there. This symbol is I found in Bell of Lost Souls, but you can find any decal sheets to download as a PDF or whatever. If you do a Google search all over the internet. Likewise, you can make your own. I'll talk about that in a moment. But the Bell of Lost Souls sheet is under the name Star Phantoms for the Star Phantoms chapter. Now, it's a fan-made symbol, so I don't actually know if it's the official symbol or not. I don't think it is, just because I haven't been able to find any information on the Star Phantoms aside from Captain Androcles. I have no idea of the Star Phantoms color scheme. I know that was, I believe, made up by fans. So I don't know what the official color scheme is, because I don't think there is one. I don't know what the official symbol is, because I don't really think there is one. But when Badab War Volume 2 comes out, we'll see for sure. And if it is that symbol, well then I guess I'm kind of screwed, but whatever, I'm still going to use it. So I'm going with the black symbol, as you see, mostly because that's what was provided. And it works just like you would use any other decal. A little bit of water to slide it off, slide onto the part of the model you want, and then seal it. What I suggest using are two things: micro set. This softens decals. It can be used to remove them if you want to also, but it softens decals and improves adhesion. Kind of like it's basically a way to help. It's almost like the decals kind of have a little bit of a residue on the back of them for when you stick them on. That's something to help them stick. It's like a liquefied version of that. In a way, it helps it sit where you want it, like a glue almost. And then there's Micro Sol. Micro Sol softens is another setting solution for decals. It softens decals to conform to irregular surfaces for a painted-on look. And that's what I suggest after you get the decal where you want it, and pretty much adhere to it while it's still adhering. Dab on some Microsol over the decal, and it'll help soften it on to really get a nice painted-on look onto any irregular surface. And it really works quite well. So I suggest using that, and then seal it however you're going to seal it. I'm going to use a matte varnish. So that's how I did the decal. Now, how did I make the sheet? Well, I used decal paper. Decal paper, I'll show you it, comes usually in 8.5 by 11 size, so the size of a regular piece of paper, printed paper. And you can see you get lots of decals. Now I got some big decals here. This is the color they decided to be part of the Star Phantoms chapter's color, which is why it's surrounding the white here. Well, it's not really white, and I'll get to that in a moment. Some big decals way down to really small decals for infantry. As you can see, I used one of those. So what I did was I first printed it on regular printed paper to make sure it looks how I want it to look. Sometimes you gotta do some changes to make it fit the way you want it to fit. Then after that was done, and it's like how I wanted, I put the decal sheet in. You want gloss, you want it to print like it's printed in glossy photo paper, and because it's pretty much what it kind of looks like. Then you want it to set your printer for that, and set your printer to print at its best quality and print it out. Now I suggest letting it sit for a little bit before you really move it. The ink won't be fully dried. It takes a little bit longer to dry in this type of material because it's not like regular printer paper. And I figured this all out by reading different articles online. As well as it tells you on the when you buy the decal paper, it has its own instructions on how to use it as well to help you out. Then once it's fully dried, of the ink, you have to spray seal it with some type of spray. Um, for our purposes, the tutorials I found online said acrylic coating works the best, a glossy acrylic, and that's what I have here. What you do is take it like you would do any type of spray painting. It's the proper area, shake it up really good, and spray it, just like you would spray a base, a miniature for spray coating. Get a nice even cover, not too thick to make it runny or anything, and not too thin to not get good coverage. You'll be able to figure it out as you go. It'll look kind of like a cloud, like a misty cloud when it comes out of the spray can. So use that to judge. Wherever it hits, move it across the thing, kind of sweeping motions back and forth over the entire thing. And then once you do that, you're good. Let it dry. It takes around 15 minutes to dry. Not fully, but dry so it's not liquidy. It's actually not going to move. Or like if you touch it, it'll just be tacky. It won't come off or like slide off like liquid paint would. After, I will wait around a half an hour, then come back, hit it with a second coat. The reason I say hit it with a second coat is that really ensures you get a good protective cover of it. Because what it's really there for is to seal it from the water, so the ink doesn't run from the water. If you don't want to put work into printing it out or making your own decal sheet, and just to have it run because you didn't get a good seal. So I suggest 2 good coats. Then after half an hour after the second coat, take it. Now it says take it and move it to wherever you're going to move it. It says on the can itself, at least for this particular one, which is Krylon, it takes, handle time takes 2 hours. So it takes 2 hours to dry so where you can handle it without leaving any fingerprints or anything. I let it sit for around 2.5 hours in total before I use it, and it worked just fine. So the time it says is pretty accurate. Let's see. And that's how you make this. I did touch it beforehand. I touched it on the corner, this corner, which you won't be able to see too well, but it's my fingerprints up there because it was still pretty tacky. But if you're gonna grab it to handle it, grab it where there's no decals on it. That way you don't ruin a decal. Also, what I did is I printed it the night before I spray painted it, or not, I should say spray sealed it, not painted it, which is both good and bad. The problem with that is any dust that settles on it, if you don't get that off before you seal it, it gets sealed onto that paper. But I kept it pretty clean and clear, so I have like a couple of dust particles on there, but nothing that will ruin a decal. So that's another thing to keep in mind. You can make your own decals by using Photoshop or even paint. The Photoshop, I think, works best to make it a transparency, if that's what you want. Like this is, everything you see here is white, is really clear, and you do that by making it transparency, so anything that's not what you made just doesn't show up for ink. And you arrange it on the 8.5 by 11 thing that you set up, template if you will, and arrange any type of decals like you want, the same decal, different decals, whatever, and you can make your own that way. Again, do a test print. Now, I don't know if I said it, but I'm going to repeat it again if I did. Make sure you get paper appropriate to your printer. There's inkjet paper and laserjet printer. Is it laserjet? Inkjet, laserjet? Anyway, I have an inkjet printer, so I got inkjet paper. Make sure you get the one appropriate for your printer. Now, they do make 2, the company that I order from has 2 decal sheets. A clear, or transparent, like you see here, and a white. I did some research onto it, and the white one, anything you see here that would be white would actually show up white on the model instead of clear. So the eyes you see are clear on the model here. And the mouth, that would be white if I had white decal. That means you really have to trim it right up to the decal that you want. And this works better for more geometric shapes, easy shapes to cut out. And what you do is you cut them out, and even if you don't cut it out perfectly, you can use paint, in this case methyl silver, to go over the edges again, right up to the part, right up to your decal. That symbol, or that, not symbol, that color works great if you want a white decal, and it's not on a white surface, so like on a metallic surface or something. Now, I don't know how printers work in terms of doing white. Now, I've had printed stuff out where there's been white in the printout. I honestly don't know if the printer paper makes white. The printer ink makes white. I want to say no and just leaves those parts blank, and it looks like it did. I don't know for sure. I don't know if printers can print white. To be honest with you, I never thought about it before. So, if you want to do a white decals, you probably need that sheet of white decal paper, which makes your life a little bit harder. Unless you're doing it like let's say the symbols that are white circle in the center of like a black symbol, and it's going over a whitish background anyway on the model. Then you can do it on the clear paper. But if it's got to be white and there's not going to be any white on the model, you're going to need that white paper. It makes life a little more difficult. Now, if you know that your printer can print white, it actually prints white with some ink, which I don't think mine does. I don't know. I never thought about it. But if you know it can do that for some reason, then you can probably use the clear paper. I don't know though, because I never thought about it, because I never had to think about it. And when I think about it, I want to say no, printers can't print white. Because if I think at least inkjets, I don't know about laser jets, but the inkjet cartridges I have, if you mix them all together, you get black. So I don't think you can do white. But anyway, the clear paper is good for anything that's not white. This is assuming I'm correct in saying printers can't print white, which I don't know. So it works great for the Angels of Fury symbol. It works good for any symbol that's colored or black, anything that's not white. And it can be as complicated as you want, because all you have to do is trim it close to your piece. Now remember, this is one gigantic decal sheet. If I did this whole thing in water, it would all come off in one go. So you have to trim. If you look here, this rectangle won't cut it. I did that to get it out, and then you got to trim right around it and kind of like a weird oval here to get it to fit onto the shoulder pad or wherever you want it to fit. So even with clear, you have to trim it to fit, but it won't show up on the model, which is nice. So that's pretty much all I have to say about the decal paper. It was a lot easier to use than I thought it would be. It seems daunting, at least it seemed daunting to me at first, but I sat down and did it. And really the longest part was waiting. You know, printing it, letting it dry a little bit, spray the crystal clear acrylic gloss, letting it dry a bit, doing a second coat, letting that dry, and then taking it in and letting it dry fully, and then using it. But setting up the printer and everything and printing it out, pretty easy stuff. So again, you can probably find decals out there, decal sheets ready to go, or you can even make your own if you know how to do that stuff. And really, that opens up a lot more doors for decals, not only for 40K, but anything, BattleTech. I don't know about War Machine or Horrors, but maybe I can help you with that too. And opens up a lot of new doors, I suppose. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Hope that was kind of useful. Again, you can find tutorials online all over the place for this. Anyways, that's pretty much it. So until next time, take it easy.